I'm glad everybody's here and there's a group of people I can talk to because believe me, nobody in my life knows who H3 is or Dad Podcast. So I'm glad I have you all here to listen to what I have to say. Hi, my name is Jem, and right now we are going to reload a clip from the H3 podcast and Dad Challenge podcast. And if you don't know about the Dad Challenge podcast, because I know a lot of people who are on my channel, we're all well aware of Ethan Klein. But if you're not aware of the Dad Challenge podcast, his name is Josh. He's an ex-pastor. His channel is more focused on exposing family vlogging channels. But even though he is an ex-pastor, he did not leave the church and the religion. He's still Christian, and he talks a lot about the church and Christianity on his channel, as well as other religions. Sometimes I can see problems coming a mile away, and I foresee a problem with the uniting of Ethan Klein and Dad Podcast guy, Josh. Now, please tell me in the comments, am I looking for a problem where there is none, or do you also see a problem coming a mile away? Now, let's get into the problem I foresee happening.
So I want to talk about the LeBrant family before this. You know, the LeBrant family, they're like this Christian family, and it turns out they're the worst people in the world. Of course, they always are. And
for being a family channel, right? Not for being Christian.
Well, they are like we're great saintly Christians, but they're actually exploiting their kids.
All right.
Saying their kids have cancer for views when they don't.
Yes.
Okay. Do you see the problem yet? Let it continue.
And now we got a really disturbing insight into their analytics. By the way, did you guys figure out how she got access to these analytics?
I don't believe we did.
Because that was a question I had about all this.
I just want to point out that they do figure out where the analytics came from. And because it is a third-party site, you can't take everything that's said on these third-party sites as accurate because a lot of times they're very off on numbers. But it's very interesting to see when they do talk about the demographics for male and female viewers of certain channels, that you can kind of gauge.
But apparently, the 9-year-old daughter has her own Instagram page. Oh, it's Instagram. So is there a way to see demographic information on?
There's like a social, you can use like Social Blade for Instagram.
But how could you see demographic information?
There are other sites, if you pay them, you can have access to analytics, but again, grain of salt, because a lot of times the numbers are off. But it's so interesting with male-female viewers because it's a 50-50 shot. So I can see how that could be far more accurate than gauging how much people are making on their channels. Because a lot of times those figures are way off in either direction.
This is disgusting, though. This is a good Christian family that clickbaits their kid having cancer. I didn't even know this.
And I just like, too, how Ethan is really looking for sources and he really wants to make sure what he's saying is true and he's asking the crew to dig into it. I really appreciate that because that's one thing with Ethan. You know, he tries at least to know what he's talking about and just to research where he's getting statistics from. I like that he was very much aware of that.
They're sorry, but this is fucking horrific. A 9-year-old with an Instagram page with 5 million.
People saying, like, I thought you had to be 13 to have an Instagram account. I guess if the mom is the one running it, that's like a way around that. I feel like that should not be
creepy.
Yeah.
And let me show you why. Okay. So this lady got the analytics from one way or another. Here.
I'm going to use this comment as an opportunity to show you this clip from the Dad Challenge podcast over on his YouTube video discussing the analytics of Everly LeBrant.
Wait, did you guys review the source video? Nobody watched the podcast that clip's from?
I'm not sure who did this write-up.
We dug for it. We couldn't find the clip.
You couldn't find the podcast?
No, we couldn't find it on his channel.
The Dad Challenge podcast.
The specific clip he was talking about, we couldn't find it.
Okay.
No.
Okay, I believe you.
So this is just like some rando on TikTok saying this? I don't know if this is even believable.
That's why we need to find the source. I need to know
Well, she was showing a clip from a
She
different.
said to clarify, these analytics are from Instagram, not YouTube. But how do we get the analytics? We need to know that this is genuine. Well, anyway, here's what she says.
The largest child creators on social media. And please note, these analytics are from a year ago, so they might be a little out to date, but it expresses...
Can you go on her TikTok and see if she explained it? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are wondering how she got it. For Christ's sake, you guys! Not actually angry, but...
You knobhead.
It would be nice to get a little more depth on this.
Exactly this point.
Better demographics, everybody. 70% male. Lowest percentage is teenagers.
So where is he? He's on the influencer profile. So he's on some kind of back end.
I mean, there are a lot of third-party things that, try and analyze the analytics just through API and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, as you know, like Social Blade isn't 100% accurate. I'm sure this isn't either, but it's going to be in the ballpark.
Because I wonder if through the Facebook advertising platform, you can see the breakdown of certain pages. So, if you want to respond. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, so anyway, let's just assume for the sake of understanding that this is real. Although there's some possibility that we don't know where the analytics came from.
Lowest percentage is teenagers. So we can just eliminate that. But here we go. 24%, everybody. 70% male. Lowest percentage is teenagers. So we can just eliminate that. But here we go. 24%, 19%. That's 50% of their male audience of 70% is watching this little girl and is between the ages of 18 and 44.
That is so fucking disgusting.
What is 70% of 5.2 million?
70% of 5.2 million is 3.64 million.
This is why this conversation matters.
I'm not shocked that weird, creepy, gross men are watching these channels. I'm shocked that it's so many, because I really thought a lot of these channels were made up of young people who can sit and watch YouTube all day, and that's why they get such high numbers. I thought the vast majority was like young people and teens watching family channels. So then to see that such a high majority of it are men. But the thing is, even if you didn't know and you become a family vlogger and you didn't really know what was going on, you see your analytics. Because I'm thinking that this is from now most of these channels, that they have a high majority of men watching. And so I'm thinking even if you were blissfully unaware of the dangers you are putting your child in by thrusting them on the internet, the fact that you see your analytics and then you still proceed forward and doing what you've been doing, that's what I don't understand. Well, I understand it's for money. So from there, you have no more excuses as far as I'm concerned. No more excuses. Because I thought it's ridiculous anyway to have your children forever on the internet. They wake up, a camera's in their face. They go to sleep, a camera's in their face, in their home. It's one thing for a child to go out in the world, but I think when they come back home, their home should be their safe space. And having a camera in their face while they're at home is not their safe space. It cannot be a safe space for them. All the time? No way. And for money, and then the children don't see the money. And the reason why I know that majority of these children don't see the money is because most of these family vloggers, as soon as they get money, they upgrade their lifestyle so overboard. They overly upgrade their lifestyle. And this money that they're making is not forever, because your child is only going to be cute for so long. And then they're going to be in their adolescence stage and not want to film at all because they want to live their own life. And so that money that you're making now, you're wasting it. They're wasting it with mansions and luxury vehicles and then vacations all over, even if it's sponsored. There's some stuff you're coming out of pocket. They're wasting the children's money. I think now the in thing is to say that they're putting money aside for the children, but I don't believe it. Now they know to say that, but I don't believe it. And just like what happened in Hollywood with the Coogan Act, and what Ethan says, they have to wait for these children to reach an age where they can go to court and sue for anything to change, because it's not going to change. And then people wonder why the government is in everything in our lives. It's because people like these, this is how I'm thinking, people like these who for some reason do not understand that long time ago we made it a law that children need to be a certain age before they start working. And now there's loopholes to get around it for entertainment. Why? Why should a 3-month-old work for entertainment purposes? Why? You're the parent, you work. Your livelihood shouldn't depend on your child, because the minute your child doesn't want to do something, you know what happens? Does a parent say, okay, no filming today? Or does a parent say, oh, but how are we going to pay for this mansion? Don't you want your toys that you love so much? You have to record. That's what's going on behind the scenes. You can't tell me any different. I don't need to see a child being berated by their parent to pose a certain way for me to understand that that's what's going on behind the scenes of all these family channels. Because if you are around children at all, you have your own children, you have younger siblings, cousins, nieces, nephews, how often is it that you tell a child to do something that they actually do it? I'm waiting. You're lucky if they do it. Children have their own mind and they want to do what they want to do. And at any point, you're coercing your child to do something on camera because you know that's your payday. I'm going to take issue with it. I'm going to take issue with it. Let the child be a child. And you, the parent, figure out a way to make money. Do not put that pressure on a 4-year-old. How about that?
Yeah, so let's just assume it's real for the sake of the conversation. 5 million followers, 70% are male, ages 18 to 50. That is horrifically disgusting. Is that creepy or what? And then this is this good Christian mom who's throwing her kid to the sharks. She manages it. She knows the analytics. They're obviously doing it for business purposes. And she can see that there's creepy old pedos watching her daughter. I mean, most people they would be disgusted by that, but they don't mind because they clickbait their kids having cancer. So who gives a shit if there's millions of pedos watching her daughter on
Yikes.
On Instagram.
Yeah, they need to clamp down on the kids on social media and YouTube thing. It's just
like
we as a society decided a long time ago that, you know, kids in entertainment need protection, and this weird loophole that all these people are able to just kind of avoid any of that needs to be closed.
Now, right here, if you go to Josh's channel on the Dad Channel podcast, he links this clip on his community page because he was excited to have Ethan watch his research. And if Ethan uses more of his sources, or if Ethan wants to talk to him, I'm sure Josh would want to be on Ethan's channel just for the reach. But remember, I see a big difference between these two characters, Ethan and Josh.
Well, the problem is none of these kids have grown up yet and being like, yo, my parents abused me. My parents never paid me.
Yeah, you're right. In a decade,
my parents took me out of school and forced me to work.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part. Ethan's right. Nothing's going to change until these children go to court, and we have to wait for them to grow up to do that. If these parents get together in mass and decide to make changes on their own, thumbs up, but that's never going to happen. Never. And that's why people complain that the government is in our lives. Because of people like this. You need the government to make laws to tell you how to raise your child? Really? The government has to remind everybody that children shouldn't be responsible for our living expenses?
Look at this happy Christian family. Yeah, wait till we get the stories about your kids in fucking 20 years. But we all know. Look, there's a Bible quote.
That Ryan toy review documentary is going to be fucking crazy.
Here's what's coming up. Let me tell you the problem I see with these two characters, Ethan and Josh. Ethan does not like Christians. Am I right or am I wrong? Majority of us here are H3 watchers. Am I right or am I wrong? Ethan does not like Christians. This is what I'm seeing coming a mile away. He doesn't like religious people. He doesn't like religion. He goes in on his religion too. But I'm just telling you, this is what I see. And this is just it. I listen to Ethan. What he tells me, I believe. Okay? Tell me I'm wrong.
As for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. Yeah, we're also going to serve a bunch of pedos on Instagram. So... is that what Joshua meant? You fucking pieces of shit. Scum. I tell you what, man. I have nothing but disdain for religious people who are just dog shit people. It's like they use their Christianity as a shield, or whatever religion they are. They use it as a... It's mostly Christians, though, who do this.
Okay, now tell me I'm wrong. And I didn't need him to say this here. And I'm glad he clarified just for that clip so I don't have to go searching everywhere. Ethan has been consistent all the time telling you how much he doesn't like Christians, Catholics, whatever. He goofs on it all the time. Again, he goofs on other religion, but I'm talking about Christian religion right now because of this.
Because they can they think as long as they're good with Jesus, as long as they accept Jesus as their Savior, you could do literally any crime and be good in death. Right? That's how it works. Fuck that. I'm not down with that shit.
Sort of how it works.
Yeah, no, that's not sort of. You ask, if you accept Jesus in your heart, you're good.
I mean, you have, it's not, I mean, you have to genuinely
okay, hold on.
feel remorse and be asking.
Oh, okay, but fine, yeah.
Like, you can't just be like on the deathbed,
No, I'm
like,
sure
oh,
there's-
yeah, I'm sorry about all that.
Yeah, just be like, no, I'm really sorry, for real.
Yeah, theoretically, that would not get you into heaven.
That
yeah,
lens
I'm
flame.
coming.
You see what Ethan said. Dan usually is the guy that cleans up what Ethan says. 99.9% of the time, he cleans up what Ethan says. As you guys noticed a couple of weeks ago, he didn't do that. But usually, Dan is cleaning up what Ethan says. And so right here, you see Dan trying to clean up what Ethan is saying. But Ethan is firm, because I'm telling you, when Ethan says something, he means it. Like from his dome, from the top of his head. When he says something, he means it. And what he says about Christians and how he feels about them, he means it. Okay? Dan is saying, no, you have to truly believe in order to be forgiven. And Ethan is like, no. He's doubling down. This is what Ethan does. Please, when Ethan says something, just believe him. That's what I do. So here's the issue. This is what the Dad Challenge podcast believes.
Again, if you believe in Jesus and who he said he was, you are good. Joel Osteen believes in Jesus for real. Regardless of all the dirt he's done on earth, he's going to heaven. Okay? If Hitler believed in Jesus in his heart, and we'll never know these types of things, he would be going to heaven. Okay? Look at it comes back to the story about the thief on the cross. I have to read the scripture to you. I have to read it to you. The thief says this: one of the criminals hanging beside him scoffed, "So you're the Messiah, are you?" He's like, this guy is like, he's a murderer. He's probably a gross, disgusting person. He's up there for a reason. Like, you only got crucified if you were the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst, okay? So both of these guys hanging next to Jesus were the worst, murderers and thieves, okay? Jesus was the worst of them all because he was the one that scared them the most, okay? So you're the Messiah, are you? Hey, prove it by saving yourself and us too while you're at it. But the other criminal said this: don't you fear God even when you have been sentenced to die? We deserve to die for our crimes, but this man hasn't done anything wrong. Then he said, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Remember me when you come into your kingdom. Here it is, guys. This is the only thing that matters. And Jesus replied, I assure you, today you will be with me in paradise. Now, gives me shivers when I think about this. Think about this. This guy, up to the point of death, was a criminal, a murderer, thief, whatever the case may be, a rapist. It could have been anything. He's up there for a reason, okay? You don't just get crucified for no reason. He is the worst of the worst. And at the end, he has this moment of repentance where he believes Jesus is who he says he is, okay? I know we're going to church a little bit. And at that moment, Jesus says, I assure you, you're going to be in heaven with me. Think about it, okay? He just believed like that and is saved. Anybody, if you believe like the thief believed, okay, and it's a real, in your heart, belief, you're good.
He added in the music, but there you have him stating the gospel. Jesus lived a sinless life. He was crucified, and on the third day he was resurrected, and he died for our sins. And if you believe in Jesus Christ, you will be with him in heaven. That's the gospel in a nutshell. And that's what the Dad Podcast believes. Ethan doesn't believe that, and he doesn't like that, and he doesn't like people like that. Because he said it before, you guys. I'm just telling you what he says. So I am very interested to see how this relationship goes. And right now, Ethan doesn't know anything about Josh. Josh, I noticed when he clipped Ethan's mention of him, he only clipped up to a certain point. So I don't know if Josh saw the rest of what Ethan was saying, but there's the conflict. And right now, Ethan was at the part where Josh was said he's coming for Christians, and Ethan is like, yeah. That's what Ethan wants to hear, but he doesn't know that Josh is a Christian and believes the thing that Ethan despises.
From to sell. If you use, okay, look, family vloggers, assholes. Selling MLMs, assholes. But if you use your faith to make money, you're just as bad as these pastors who do it. So
I'm with you, buddy.
Coming right after you.
By the way, this is the Dad Channel podcast.
Girl is.
That's a problem I see in the future, how they can clash. Ethan very much is just listen to the message and not the messenger, because the controversy that Ethan was in a couple of weeks ago with the LGBTQ plus community, Ethan believes if he's on the side of LGBTQ rights, it doesn't matter the jokes he makes, just be with him because he's not against you. And so I wonder if he's gonna have that same mindset to Josh, because Josh is saying the same thing, what Ethan believes about family vloggers, that they need to be regulated. But is Ethan going to listen to the message, or is he going to have a problem with the messenger? And that's the conflict. If they stay on the topic of family vloggers, these two can get along. But I think if religion seeps into it anywhere, don't you guys see what I'm seeing? Because I want to know if anybody else picked up on this, or if my mind is just working overtime for no reason. Oh, because this is the thing about Ethan. I remember a long time ago when Ethan took issue with something PewDiePie did. Like one scandal, he was with PewDiePie, that was his friend. But then there was another scandal where Ethan was like, no, what PewDiePie did was wrong. And I remember I was shocked about it because, this is why I was shocked. I assumed that PewDiePie and Ethan, Felix and Ethan were friends. And because they were friends, I thought that Ethan would either back him up like he did previously, or at least not say anything. And so the fact that Ethan came out against PewDiePie, that shocked me, because usually I wouldn't expect that from a friend. Usually, friends don't do that. If anything, you'll scold a person behind the scenes, but publicly, it's like you're taking it to another level. And when Ethan did that, my thought was, wow. And that's when I learned with Ethan, it doesn't matter if you're a friend or a foe. If he has an issue with what you did, he'll say something. If he doesn't say anything, he doesn't have an issue. Okay, can I just say this one thing too, right here?
Oh, Hasan has COVID.
Oh, right, that.
So I don't know. Is there any way to do an episode on Thursday, or did you hear anything back from that, Dan?
I did.
No. So there's no.
Moving it to another week.
Okay, that's good. So Thursday there's no show because Hasan got COVID. I think he's avoiding me, if you ask me.
Purposely infected himself?
Could be. I think he's lying just to avoid coming here. Can you buy?
Literally lying.
Because he showed the COVID test with the 2 stripes. I wonder if you could probably buy a positive COVID test. I wouldn't put it past him.
Anything Ethan says, I listen to and I believe. I don't think this is a joke. Is he really saying it's a joke? He's like, no, and he's thinking, oh, you could have a fake test. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Could be nothing. Hasan could really be sick and he's going to be back on the show, or Hasan is stalling for a reason. Like there's something going on behind the scenes. Because why would Ethan say that? And they can come back next week and the show Leftovers is on and everything's fine. Okay. But something's going on. You guys, come on, pick up what they're throwing down. So we're going to keep an eye on Leftovers with Ethan and Hasan. We're going to keep an eye on Ethan and Josh of the Dad Challenge podcast. And we're going to see what's going on, because right now I'm 50-50. They could either be friends or very easily be foes. Put in the comment what you think they are. Friends or foes.